I think the President's laid out a thoughtful and a comprehensive strategy that I support. If all we do is send more troops, more Marines, more Army, more trainers, more helicopters, more equipment, that in and of itself is not sufficient. That's important, but it's not what's needed to really turn the tide here and to drive the Taliban out and to make sure Al-Qaeda doesn't come back. We need to also help the Afghans diversify their economy, get them off of the poppy trade, to have them grow the stuff that they used to grow when they fed themselves, wheat and apples and cotton and all kinds of stuff. They have a potentially vibrant mining and mineral industry there. Help them develop it. They have 3 times more oil and gas reserves than was known to be the case just a year or 2 ago. Help them to develop that. And also, we should be not only just training their army and their police, but also doing what we did in Iraq very successfully, where we helped the tribal leaders to prepare their own tribes in an effort in Iraq against the insurgents, but in Afghanistan, the tribal units to rally against the Taliban, and they will. They're already starting to do it. When I was over in Afghanistan back in May, led a congressional delegation there, I was asked by a reporter leaving, they said, what is our exit strategy for Afghanistan? I said, I think the exit strategy is the strategy that the President laid out in actually last spring, and which he's really more fully developing to today. This shouldn't be just us. This should be about us training, preparing the Afghans to prepare for their own defense and provide for their own security, be able to govern themselves. It's not just us, it's our NATO allies who have, I think about 30,000 troops over there right now. They're going to add to that. We have countries like Japan that are not, they don't have troops in Afghanistan, but they're literally bankrolling the police forces there and helping to train the police forces. So there's plenty of work for other nations to do in helping us. And one of the things that the administration's been working to do is to rally the support of our NATO allies and other countries around the world so that they will see the danger in Al-Qaeda raising its head again, spreading its tentacles, and making sure that that doesn't happen. I realize there's some people who say, well, what strategic value is Afghanistan to us or to anybody else? So it turns out it was in Afghanistan that Al-Qaeda planned and masterminded the attacks of 9/11, killed thousands of Americans, destroyed a lot of lives, a lot of businesses, and the lives of a lot of families. This is a war I think that we should have been fighting all along. We got distracted in Iraq. What we have right across the mountains between Afghanistan and Pakistan is an effort by Taliban to take over the government of Pakistan. Pakistan has not a lot of people, but they've got a lot of nuclear weapons. And the idea of having those nuclear weapons fall in the hands of the Taliban is not not in our interest or anybody that any sanity wants to see happen. So what we have is a potential for a pincer movement here. We're pushing the Taliban out of Afghanistan into the mountains. We got over Pakistan, encouraged by our actions in Afghanistan, pushing the Taliban together, sort of like a pincer movement almost, and pushing them all into the mountains and going after and destroying their infrastructure, their ability to do damage. And as we do that, go after Al-Qaeda at the same time, so that Al-Qaeda is denied a safe harbor from which to plan more action that'll kill more people, not just in America, but around the world in their terrorist operations. It'll be cheap. I think doing nothing is going to be a whole lot more expensive. We allow the Taliban to reemerge, provide a safe harbor for Al-Qaeda. If the Taliban are able to exert their influence throughout Pakistan and destabilize that country and maybe even get their hands on nuclear weapons, that's going to be a huge problem that we'll wish never had occurred. We're fortunate in a sense as the President has proposed some further commitment of resources, both military and civilian, in Afghanistan. We're seeing a significant drawdown from about 170,000 troops in Iraq a year ago to about 120,000 today. We expect by next August to be down to about 50,000 troops in Iraq, and within a year or so after that, for the most part, to be out of Iraq. So that's a period of about 21 months where we expect to go from 120,000 troops in Iraq to about close to zero, and we expect to grow our presence in Afghanistan in terms of troops and advisors from about 65,000 troops or so to almost 100,000. We'll still be way under where we were in Iraq. The other thing that I think that's important here, in Afghanistan, my time that I spent there, it's real clear that the Afghan people don't like the Taliban. They despise the Taliban. The Taliban create a lot of hardship, a lot of suffering and pain for that country. They don't enjoy popular support, and what they want to do is just to feel like safe. from the Taliban, and we're going to try to provide them that safety and security, prepare them to be able to run their own affairs and to defend themselves. And as they do that, then we pull out.